So is the sales profession as terrible as it sounds?
Let me just say, there is no other profession where you are literally just a number. People will say terrible things to you.
That is my worst nightmare. So how much money can you make if you stick it out in sales?
If you are really, really good, millions of dollars.
Millions.
Millions of dollars, yes. There is nothing on this earth, not even sex, that is quite like closing a deal.
Would you go back to sales?
Oof. I mean...
Demoted.
Welcome to Demoted.
Good to have everyone here.
Summertime sadness.
That's what we're doing today. We're not talking Lana Del Rey.
No, we're talking the lull of the sales cycle.
Yep. We're talking sales today.
Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm going to be interviewing you for most of this episode.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a lot of sales Moter-heads here.
Yeah, for sure.
So
someone recently stopped me at the airport and she was like, I'm like, oh my God, it's a corporate Natalie fan. Okay, hang on. No, she said, I'm a huge Moter-head.
That's so sick.
I was like, thank you so much. You made my day.
I love her.
I love her. That's
I don't know who she is, but I love her.
When you like the pod, you must love me.
Yeah.
Right? Because
that's real.
That's core. This is us.
See us at our worst.
See us at our worst, our best.
I feel like you should pull out a little sticker and be like, true Moter-head sticker. And just be like, give that.
Put it on our license.
Yeah. True Moter-head stickers. I think that's in the cards.
So we're going to kick it off with a salacious corporate confession. We want to dive right in.
Yep.
I know you heard some highlights, some sound bites of what this episode is going to entail, but let's get into this corporate confession here. I will read it.
Yes, please.
In college, I worked as a limo driver at a high-end hotel just outside of Boston, mostly shuttling around corporate clients to and from their local headquarters and training offices. I would overhear stories from people who either, one, didn't think I could hear them, or two, didn't care that I did. My favorite story was listening to a group of newly hired technical sales reps who were attending their first week of orientation at the corporate office. And this one group was talking about a rep from the prior week's training. Apparently, this was his first trip away from home to the big city and was especially thrilled that he could get porn on the TV in his room.
God damn it.
Oh my God. When he got back home, he would show his friends his new library of erotica. He used his camcorder and tripod to record every movie on the menu. Hang on. But he never realized that every video had a reflection of him in the glass sitting naked at the end of the bed masturbating.
You're just like in the little corner. You're like, wait a second. Is that Brian?
Is that Brian?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I didn't realize it could reflect.
It's like the Drake video. It's just massive.
Yeah, that Drake video. Oh my God.
Jake's like, man, I didn't think this would get out. Oh, shoot. You guys saw that?
Oh, some people can't handle the big city. And this is one of those people.
Wow. The big city, i.e. Boston. Awesome. That's
this person is describing like newly hired technical sales. This guy was not that technical.
No, it appears he did not have the chops.
Salespeople generally aren't that technical. And this is just like, even when they've got it in the title, doesn't quite play.
Oh my God.
Do you ever think about that in Ubers? Like, do you ever have conversations with your friends where you get out of the Uber and you're like, yeah, we at no point consider the fact that there is another human in the front.
Completely.
All the time.
I picture it like a limo with the shield up, except I'm in a Honda Civic and he's right there and I'm actually sitting in the front seat, turning around to talk to my friend. I mean, we have the most insane conversations. The other side of that, which I've actually made a video on, is like the conversations you have with your Uber driver. Do you see this video I made?
I haven't seen it.
It's me getting out of the car. I'm like, well, congrats on your new amphibian breeding farm. Thanks for telling me that. And like how they share all their like weird side hustles and things they do. Like, God, I hope she does get charged with a misdemeanor or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Anyway, 5-star. Have a good day.
Yeah, I'm convinced that like a lot of them are doing it like they'll be in tech roles and they're just like waiting for that one CEO to get in the car where they can pitch their thing, their idea.
Oh, they all have an idea.
They've got an idea. They're cooking up ideas.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, my family and I are just like dissecting the political leanings of each person in our family. We're like talking so much shit and we get out of the car and always like, anyway, sorry about that.
Sorry. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
Yeah.
We'll be releasing an episode on Ubers.
At some point.
Coming soon.
Yeah. No, we're talking salespeople today. I'm sorry. That was just a quick aside.
Today we are talking about sadness. And before we get into it, to maybe some of my followers, new listeners, this is a term you coined.
A little acronym.
An acronym. What does sadness mean?
S.A.D.N.E.S.S stands for sales are dope, never ever stop selling. And the way I liken it to is the original ABC, always be closing. It's the same essence, except it captures the other side of sales, which is the miserable part. So ABC always be closing, go out there, go for the close. Everything is sales. See, that's the never ever stop selling part.
Yep.
Sales are also dope, but in the aggregate, they're sadness.
Sadness. I love that. And how did this come to you? What's like the origin story of sadness?
The actual origin story is a very classic boy story where I was like trying to, the movie Dodgeball had not recently come out, but I'm a huge fan of it. And they're like, duck, dodge, dip, dive. And like, I wanted to make a throwback how-to training video of what sales was. I was just going to model it after that. And I was like, what would a good acronym be? And naturally, I went straight to PENIS.
Of course.
I was like, okay, I'm going to work backwards.
How do we let's start with,
I wanted to be penis. How am I going to work this backwards? And I had a rare moment, like a super rare moment where I was like, I'm better than this. Wow. I don't have those moments very often.
That's never happened
Truly.
for you. Wow.
It was going to be like penis or poo-poo pee-pee. And we all know.
And we all know. And then you worked it back and you were like, hang on. I want this to appeal to the masses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I want people to wear merch with this.
Right. This needs to be a thing.
And penis merch is a little bit hard.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Hey,
it's
yo,
tough.
bro, penis.
Yeah. Hey, bro. You in sales? Hey, penis. My guy. Yeah.
Thank God you walked that back. Sadness hits.
Thank God.
Sadness hits. And you'll hear people say it. I mean, when I see your fans recognize that, they're like, sadness, man.
Yeah, sadness, bro.
Yeah, it's a total thing.
Bro. It is a thing. I never thought it was going to be a thing. I wish I could say I had so much foresight.
Do you trademark this? Do you own the trademark to this?
I don't. I don't. I think technically there's some like usage. It's like I've used it for so long, and if someone could prove they were using it as an acronym before me, they would have right. Like I could defend it pretty easily, allegedly.
Okay.
But I don't think a lot of people are coming after it.
You got to pay the trademark fee, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Our lawyer Blair is going to be all over that.
She's just licking her chops right now. Just like, I would love to help you with that.
Hey, Ross and Natalie, heard about the trademark dispute. Would love to jump in here.
All right, take all the money.
Okay,
take all
we know
money.
Blair's not a Moter-head, so she's not listening to this.
Yeah. So sadness this is the video. This is the old school training video that I created for anybody who's like wants to be in sales.
So the promotion, the first time you dropped sadness.
First time sadness ever came out.
We're gonna all watch this, and for those of you on audio, listen to this together.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Corporate Bro, sales guru and relationship architect. Let me guess, you had hopes and dreams like everyone else, but somewhere along the way, you fucked up and stumbled into sales. Not only is sales fun and rewarding, but it's actually neither of those things. Sales can be summed up in one great acronym: sadness. Sales are dope. Never, ever stop selling. This is important because once you're in sales, you can never get out, unless you die. But you're here now, so it's time to dive in. Here are 3 tips to get you started on your lifelong journey to hell. First, take the values your mom taught you, like integrity and honesty, and just throw them out the window. Second, performance enhancers are not only acceptable, but necessary. Coffee, cocaine, Adderall, cocaine, and drugs. And third, forget the fact that you're human and accept that you're just a number. So good luck out there, and if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to slide into my DMs. Oh, gotta take this. What's going on, Jimbo, you cheap sack of shit?
There it is.
First of all, I love young Corp.
Yeah.
I didn't know that version of you. Yeah. That's great. So spry.
You were in high school.
How old were you then?
You were in high school.
Like 25?
Yeah, so whatever 2016 is. How old was I? Someone math me 9 years ago?
I was in my first year. I was a freshman in college.
Yeah, 26.
26. Wow.
Good year for Pinos.
That was incredible. Every video you make, that's like a tutorial. First of all, I just reposted one of your videos. I don't know if you saw that, of the startup, like, who thinks they're different. I reposted it on my story.
Oh, yeah.
Funniest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. When you walk someone through, like when you're looking direct to camera, being like, hey guys, here we're going to walk through the 3, blah, blah, blah. I think it's so funny.
I got to do more of those.
You got to do more of those. That was amazing. So you mentioned, like, I see in the video, you're pouring like protein powder into your mug. And there's a lot of, you're talking about performance enhancement.
Yeah, little alcohol on top of that.
Is that, oh yeah, of course. Miss that little detail. Is there some substance abuse in the sales world? I think there is in corporate America generally, but like, what was it like for you? Not for you. Maybe speak on behalf of your friends.
Oh yeah, I mean, salespeople are absolute heathens.
Yeah,
absolute heathens. They are freak shows, and the stereotypes are there. They were in frats and sororities. They're high charisma. They're high riz people.
Totally.
And they're out there and they like to party and they have no hard skills at all. So it's like, what are you going to do with that charisma? Where are you going to channel it? Sales, my guy. And that's where the party culture comes from. So yeah. Is it abuse? I don't know. I'm not ready to go that far, but it exists.
Is it a bunch of 25-year-olds working together in an office? Also,
exactly.
Yes,
like, what are you going to do? Yeah. Everyone's fresh out of college sports, whatever, like
totally.
Ex-athletes, partiers, it's going to be part of the fabric of the culture.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's a blast though.
I never worked with people who were like my age similarly. And the stories you tell about like your tribe of people at these companies.
I feel very
Oracle,
blessed.
Glassdoor. Yes. So cool.
I feel very blessed.
Why did you get into sales?
Why did I get into sales?
We've talked about it in other episodes, but I want you to give it to us again.
I mean, first of all, you have to be an absolute freak to want to be into sales.
Yep.
There is so much stress. You are just a number, right? I think most people end up in sales. They don't have any other options. That's the joke I make, mostly because it's true. It's like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, but I want to make money. I want to make a shitload of money. It's that or private equity. Yeah. And I don't have the banking skills.
You might not have the modeling.
I don't have the modeling ability.
Finance skills.
I don't know shit about shit.
No.
But I got my words.
But I can call Jim from in this random region and try to sell him this SaaS tool that he doesn't need.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's what happens. I think a lot of people are like, how can I make 6 figures as quickly as possible? And I don't have any like technical skills. Boom, sales, baby.
Sales.
All in.
This episode's kind of on summertime sadness.
Yeah.
And I think now is kind of like a lull, I think you mentioned, in the
Yes.
sales cycle, right? What does the typical day look like in sales? Let's say in like Q4 peak, whenever.
Yeah.
Versus in the summer, and like what does a day in the life look like?
Yeah, I mean, there's really only a few chunks of time that salespeople spend like doing different things. There's prospecting, which is arguably the most important part. That is cold calling. That is cold emailing. That's researching companies, trying to figure out who the hell I need. Who's going to buy this shit from me? Who's got the power to buy this shit from me? So that's why we're on LinkedIn all the time. We're looking up, CEO of X company. Okay, who runs HR? We're selling an HR tool. Like VP of HR, CHROs. Like we're trying to identify who we need to sell to. We may say, okay, that person's never going to pick up. So who reports to them? How do I build an internal champion? I may not have that person who's going to buy from me, but if I can convince that person this tool is valuable, they'll run it up the chain.
Got it.
So prospecting is a huge one. That's like, you'll come in the morning, people will have a power hour, which is basically like just dial down your call list, try to set as many meetings as possible. You're ripping 100, 200 dials.
Wow. How many, like, what's a percentage pickup rate on 100 dials?
1%.
One out of 100 will answer.
Yeah, and it's worse now. I would say maybe it was 5% back in the day, 2016 era, but now it's like nobody picks up their phone. I mean, do you ever pick up your phone when you do?
I do.
You're the one freak. And I remember
should call me. If you have something to sell me, call me because I'll answer.
Yeah, but nowadays, like nobody answers.
Does prospecting, just to click in a little bit, does prospecting happen on weekends or outside of work, or is it typically during work hours?
It's typically during work hours, but that's the big question is like, is it ethical to prospect on the weekend? Everybody's trying to be different, right? If you're going to call me in the middle of the day, I'm assuming it's a sales call. But when am I more likely to pick up? Someone calls me on the weekend? Like, who the hell's working on the weekend?
Oh, so you're actually saying like calling on weekend. I was thinking like building leads, like prospecting, trying to find, I think, does that have two meanings? Like,
yeah. So
like Harry, my brother's in sales. This is the only exposure I have besides you to sales. And he's like, oh, I spend a lot of time prospecting, which is making his basically pipeline.
Yeah. So there's the research part of prospecting and there's the active, like actually reaching out version of prospecting.
Got it.
So like they're both prospecting. So prospecting, yeah, you could be on the weekend. I mean, if you're not at quota, it's the nighttime, you're sitting there like researching people. You're like trying to build your call list for the next day, which again, that's part of prospecting. The research is part of prospecting. So yes, you could do it on the weekend too, but I mean, to go back what I originally thought the question was like, do you call people on the weekend? Do you email on the weekend?
No, yeah.
I mean, you could argue Sunday night. Some people check their email before the week starts.
Totally.
And it's like, I get an email
just
at the top of my inbox.
filter through all the sales emails and delete.
Report spam, report spam,
delete. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, how do you break through? So prospecting is a big piece.
Okay.
There's
You've
meetings.
mentioned there's meetings. Go ahead.
Sales meetings, demos.
Yep.
Right. So all the prospecting, the goal is to set the meeting, right? The opportunity to talk to someone, to pitch them, to show them the product. And then like after that, everything is more, we'll call it negotiation. And the common fallacy is, negotiation is scary. It's hard. No, they already want your product. You're just trying to come to an agreement. Like you've established they want it.
That's the hardest part. Yeah.
The hardest part is prospecting and qualifying.
Getting the call. Yeah.
But once you're in negotiation phase, that's the fun part. That's the closing part.
Terrifying.
You're measured on meetings. Like some days, some weeks you might be like, fuck, I have no meetings this week. So that's fucked.
When you're an SDR, you can get commission on just booking a meeting.
Yes.
And then when you're an AE, which is the next level, this is obviously different by company, you're actually measured on
closed
deals
revenue.
Closed.
Yep, closed revenue.
Okay.
Like in the old days, you didn't have SDRs. And SDRs, for those out there at home, sales development rep, that is the entry-level person in tech. This is a tech sales term, by the way. Most of this, what I'm talking about today is tech sales, but it's applicable everywhere else. SDRs are just cold calling machines, cold calling, cold emailing, hoping to God someone picks up. They'll have a little conversation, kind of like a what they call a brief qualification call and be like, hey, Corp, I just talked to this guy. He was super interested, dude. I'm going to pass it over to you. I'm going to make the intro, right? Like,
I'm going to loop in my AE.
Yeah, exactly. And they get measured on qualified meetings. And so that's where there's so much politicking. If you have a cool AE who's like, dude, this call is dog shit, but I'm going to say it was qualified. So your manager is like off your back. And so you can get paid. And so you'll work harder for me.
There's a little back end stuff going on.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. You can't fake closed revenue. Some people don't ever want to be AEs.
Yeah.
Because like that's the big leagues, right? If a deal is not signed and closed, like you can't fake that.
No.
You know.
And so then the signing portion, we made jokes about this in Sales Are Dope, the show that you produced. The signing and actually getting that document signed, what's the stress that comes with that?
Oh my God.
And sometimes you'll send it out and you won't hear and you're like, hang on, I thought this was a done deal. I've already bought myself the diamond tennis bracelet. What's happening?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, that's the shit. It's like, you can't trust a verbal. Like it's not done till it's done. I mean, DocuSign, whatever, e-signature tools, you send them out there and you can do this little thing where it's like, send a reminder and you go in there like, send reminders. Like,
maybe he's online now.
Yeah.
Maybe he died.
And a lot of those, by the way, for those decision makers out there, we can see when you click on the contract. So you'll get an email or it's like, Natalie has opened the contract. And you're sitting there on your computer like, oh my God, she opened it. Is she going to sign? Because then the next email that can come through.
And then you can ring the bell once it's finally signed.
Yeah, you got the gong mallet in your hand.
Yeah.
You're ready to go. And then it doesn't happen. And then you can see it's been forwarded and been opened 17 other times. So like, oh shit, they're forwarding around the organization.
Hang on, now it's getting outside of Jim's circle. I just know Jim.
Yeah.
I don't know who's Helen who's looking at this.
Right, and you're just like, please sign it. And then it's open. You get another open notification. You're like, just sign it.
Sign the contract.
And then, but when you wake up and it's like they're on the East Coast and you're on West Coast and you see like signed and filed, you're just like, oh yeah. You know, it's just like, yes, daddy. I'm serious. There's nothing better than a signed contract, closed deal. And if you don't know, you don't know. But those out there, the Moter-heads fucking know.
Better than sex. Yep.
Better than sex.
That's wow.
Sex is great. Have you ever closed a deal?
Have you ever closed a deal before and gotten the sign notification? Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Wait, let me ask you this. What did you think of sales pre like knowing me and your brother getting into sales, like pre-Sales Are Dope show?
My first exposure to it, so I went to Notre Dame and pretty much everyone who was in the business school there went to consulting or investment banking. And so I didn't really know about sales. I think that's more in the West Coast schools talked about, like Berkeley, Stanford, even you have a huge funnel into sales. USC, a lot of my friends went into sales, but I didn't really know about it in like my college process. That was never presented to me in my career fair. So then I lived with my roommate, actually worked at a company that we've talked about a lot on this podcast.
One of the more salacious companies
called Meltwater. I can just say that. She doesn't work. She's now a teacher.
That's how it went.
And I got a firsthand exposure to the sales world. And my other roommate actually worked at Slack. And I went to the Slack Christmas party, which was
blast, I bet.
A total blast in 2019, right before COVID. I still talk about it to this day. We like reminisce about it all the time. And then my other roommate, Meltwater was just an absolute, I mean, I couldn't believe the things that were happening.
She was experiencing true sadness
all the time. And both of them were just like constantly stressed. And I felt stressed in different ways with like consulting. And I feel like maybe I worked more hours, like technically, but the 9 to 5 portion that they were working was far more stressful than mine 9 to 5, but mine was maybe, 8 to 8, but it was like there was a little more lax. You're not like, I wasn't on calls with.
Yeah. Well, you're also like, I just got to get my work done. And when you get it done,
I'm an individual contributor. Like, I'm just building a 40 slide deck, which takes, that's my own stuff. Right. Yeah. But exactly. So it was different. So that was my exposure. And then my brother works in sales and obviously you, but I never knew it was this, crazy. And reading these confessions, I think I still am learning about it. I worked as a sales associate at J. Crew.
Yeah, you did do that. That's sales.
And I had to try to get people to open J. Crew credit cards.
Oh yeah.
And I knew it was a horrible idea. So I'd be like, do you want to open a J. Crew credit card? You don't have to do that.
I
just have to say this.
You're such a cool associate.
I just have to say this. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay, cool.
Okay. Awesome. That'll be $100.
I already pressed no. So
you're good. You're off the hook. I'm not a good saleswoman, actually. People think I'm in sales because I think just like we're associated and it's just assumed, but I am not.
But there's a lot of selling just in life and like.
I'm good at negotiation, but I think it's hiding behind the mask of like, Annie will like do the negotiations. And
you're like over her shoulder. All right, tell them we won't accept anything less than.
We'll talk about it behind the scenes, but I don't really want to be involved in like pitching myself because that's scary.
That always feels weird. I always tell people, they're like, like what's the hardest thing to sell? And I'm like, myself.
Well, I agree with that, but separately, like, what about when there's a tool that like maybe isn't that great, or
Totally.
for a lot of people in like pharma sales, maybe not ethically great. Like, how do you feel as a sales rep pushing this tool that maybe a company doesn't need?
That is a great question, and it's very hard.
Yeah.
And I think there is a life cycle, and I've made videos about this, like the sales rep life cycle. You come here, you're like, oh my God, this product is world-class, game-changing. We are really helping people.
Totally.
We're helping them.
What do you mean helping people? It's
we're elevating
API
the travel
integration.
software like industry. Like, how easy is it now to expense your flights?
Totally.
And everyone's like, oh, well, I guess that's like curing cancer.
I guess he's super innovative. I guess we need it. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's really hard. It's so hard to sell something without having your heart behind it. Some people can do it. Some people, there's cognitive dissonance. You convince yourself that it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Well, and what's the end goal with a sales career? Let's kind of wrap this discussion up with that. Like, what is the goal? I think you've talked about the different potential paths you can take in sales. Yep. And maybe a question is, how much can you make in sales as like a 50-year-old in sales?
You could make millions of dollars.
And what's your title? Are you still an AE?
You could still be an AE.
Or are you like
50.
a VP of sales? Like what is the path?
It
what's
is
the goal?
all about getting that bread.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Period. Like, that's what selling is all about. And I think, what's the end goal? Make a shitload of money so I can do something else.
You can make millions of dollars.
You can make millions of dollars.
Just
selling.
ripping it.
You can. You can also make not a lot of money because you may perform poorly. You may be in a shitty territory. You may have a shit product. There's a lot of factors.
That's scary. So like you could actually have a year when you're in your 50s and have a whole family and you're like trying to send your kids to college and you're just like, I actually didn't make any money this year and your base salary is still like what, 40K?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a little higher than that, but yeah, still say if your kids are going to private school or some shit, you're like, no vacation for spring break.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
When you're at that level, a lot of times it is more predictable. It's
like large like banking clients or like you get one deal a year kind of thing. That's what my friends say.
That's like the stress of, some of the big dogs at Oracle, they're in their 50s, but they hold all the telecom companies. So they work with AT&T and Verizon
and they're
Cricket.
just doing a renewal.
They're doing renewals, but they've closed $0 until Q4. And then it's like, my quota is 17 million.
Yep.
I need to close 17 plus in this quarter alone. And so like, nothing's done until it's done.
Daddy's kind of being mean around Christmas time.
Yes. Daddy's being a dick at Christmas because he doesn't know if he's going to get you any presents this year.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And so that's the stress. It comes down to those moments. And a lot of times, and like professional salespeople know the ups and downs. Mm-hmm. But if you are a volatile, emotional person, and a lot of salespeople are, but you have to learn to temper those and control those.
Interesting.
Because it gets dark.
And so would you, looking back, obviously your whole career is kind of built on sales, but if you could choose, would you do it again?
Yes, I would do it again. I just think it's such an important skill. God, I just think it's so integral to everything you want in life. And again, I've said this so many times. If you can sell, you can get the things you want.
Yep.
Period. And it doesn't have to be malicious.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be malevolent. Like, there is the whole concept of growing the pie and making a deal. It's not like you took someone.
Yeah.
It's not like you beat them.
No.
Like the best salespeople are winning themselves and winning for other people too.
I'm actually working a little bit on my sales and my cold outreach through Expand VA.
I was going to ask about this. Like, how are you guys selling right now? I know it's you and Moch.
So we obviously poach someone from Salesforce to do our cold outreach for us.
Nice.
And she is an absolute beast.
Great.
She's like an AE and she's like, oh God, getting back to my, cold email outreach days. And she'll like do some deep dive review on the influencer and be like, I loved your eye patch review video posted in October of 2021.
Yeah. The personalization.
So customized. And we just like read her videos and her subject lines are always like crazy, like attention grabbing. Like, I promise this isn't a death threat. I'm like, Sarah, what? Where'd this come from?
Hey, that has a 45% open rate.
Totally. And so she's just like trying a bunch of new like outreach and it's working pretty well.
So now you're a sales manager.
I'm a total sales manager. Yeah.
Does she have a quota?
She does not. We said we would like to have a certain number of clients by the end of the year, but I'm not
like,
gonna,
if you're like working super hard, like that's totally fine.
Totally. She joined because she's about to have a baby. She's like going on mat leave. So she's kind of doing this in her free. We're like, honestly, like just see how that whole thing goes. It's your first kid. I'm not sure.
That's an environment I would love to sell in. Zero pressure. Just like do your best.
Zero pressure. Yeah. And she's constantly like, so sorry guys. Like had to rush to the hospital, thought my water, but I'm like, oh my God, Sarah, please like don't worry about reaching out to influencers.
Hey, if you could just like get those last couple of emails out and then do whatever you got to do, that's totally fine.
Yeah, all good. You just got to hit your week's quota.
Yeah. I noticed you didn't log enough calls this week. Like what's the deal with that?
Working for me is pretty chill. Annie would tell you otherwise.
you know, as long as business is being closed, nobody's upset.
Exactly.
Nobody's upset.
Any other comments on sales, the sales cycle? I think I want to watch one of your do not call list cold call reenactments, which I think is a good like representation. But before we wrap, do you want to say anything else about sales in general?
Yes. There are no other roles that I have found where you're just so purely a number and nothing else matters.
Yeah.
I saw a meme the other day where it was basically like, one thing I've learned about being in the corporate world is like, you keep your job as long as your boss likes you.
Yeah.
In sales, it's like, if you're missing your number, your boss just hates you. That sucks.
Yeah. And you'll get fired.
Yeah. You're a human, but at the same time, if you aren't closing business, you're gone. You're on PIP. You're out. And that's where the stress comes from.
Yep.
Show me another profession that has that. I mean, professional sports, you could argue.
And I always say like, and I'm actually not speaking to salespeople at all when I talk about like performance reviews and telling your story and talking about all the things you're doing and, you know, almost making up KPIs for like, well, this was, you know, one of my goals in my job description was to XYZ, but it's not quantifiable at all. And you can just tell a story around it.
To be more upbeat during meetings, to show that I'm engaged with my posture.
Totally. And well, and just like, you know, increase, you know, positive client relations. Like, okay, what? Like, that's okay. Like, that makes no sense. So interesting. Very interesting. You are just a number in sales.
You are just a number in sales. And that makes it extremely hard and extremely stressful. But when you are closing, you're the king. Like the CEO knows your name. Like
really,
like the top reps of big companies are legends. They're straight up legends.
Well, and they're kind of LinkedIn legends these days, right? Like these guys are doubling down as like full on LinkedIn influencers.
That's a new age thing. And you know, it's kind of like if they're doing that, they're not out there closing business. So they lose some of the clout.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the best salespeople, you don't know who they are because they're busy.
Like my brother was like, my friend Brian's actually trying to build his brand. He's an SDR, but if you want to meet with him and talk about making videos, he's trying to kind of build his presence on LinkedIn to like increase his sales, you know, whatever. Like, I'm like, okay, Brian, sure, I'll meet with you. You have time to film videos every week?
So that's like the other thing. In this new age of sales, like there is somewhat of a need to build your brand. Social selling is a thing. You know, if you come off as an industry expert, if you come off as someone who like has a positive outward brand, people are more likely to talk to you.
Well, what has changed, I think, and sorry to put you on the spot for this, we didn't prep for this, but what has changed in the sales like journey, much like a tip like that from when you started to now? Because I think AI is huge. You know, you're making 100 physical dials when you're working at Glassdoor or Oracle, whatever.
Yeah.
Now there are softwares that can call 500 people for you in a day.
Yeah.
Right. And we saw that Tesla cold call reenactment, not reenactment. It was an actual cold call. And I listened to the whole thing. It was like, great. I would have been totally fooled.
Yeah.
Perfect prime audience of someone who's like, oh, I want, you know, thanks for jerking me up to be like, oh, yeah, I can afford a Tesla, whatever.
Yeah,
but like, there are these tools coming out, AI, like what has changed? What should salespeople be on the lookout for as like an incoming SDR maybe?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get too dark, but the sales profession is consolidating, like many are, because of AI.
Yeah.
Like you said, a single sales rep armed with all the technology that they have now can do the work of 30 sales reps from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like people talk about this concept of having a Rolodex, all these contacts, right? Rolodex, Gen Z doesn't even know what a Rolodex is.
No.
It's literally little cards with all the business contacts you have.
My mom used to say, go through your Rolodex when I was single to try to make me find a partner.
Yeah. I mean, literally.
Okay, Mom. Yeah. Let me go to my Rolodex.
I mean, we could go and do a whole episode of how dating and like finding a partner is sales.
Yeah,
like
totally.
There's so many.
And here's what it taught me about B2B sales.
Exactly. But I do think that's one of the biggest things. Call rates, connects have gone down. Email opens have gone down. It is the creative people who are getting ahead. And that's why I do think the brand building thing is somewhat important.
And that's interesting, being creative. Like you would never think of an SDR as a creative role at all. You'd think of working at an ad agency or, you know, I don't view that as
art
totally
type
traditional art. And that's interesting that you have to be creative.
You do. And so I think that's one of the biggest changes. And it's just like, you know, organizations no longer need 5,000 sales reps.
Yeah. Any tools that you're like bullish on or you can speak to? That
tools that I'm bullish on, I mean, not to be the AI guy, but there's so many menial shitty tasks that salespeople hate anything that isn't driving revenue.
Scratchpad,
your pipeline, Scratchpad, exactly.
We're both advisors for.
Hey, if you need to update your pipeline on Salesforce,
use
Scratchpad, baby. But yeah, I don't know. My hot take: SDRs won't exist in 10 years.
So get some technical skills.
Get some technical skills.
That's
seriously
sad. Your brother just went through like full
full crisis.
coding. No. Well, like he was trying to pivot his career from marketing.
Well, he was a shitty, useless marketer. So, obviously.
So of course he had to do a boot camp for 12 weeks to learn how to code.
Yeah.
But it is the future. It is
we
scary.
can talk about coding and AI and so forth. But
because we're such good coders.
We're such good coders.
Yeah.
We're so technical.
So I'm going to watch this cold call reenactment that you do. This is a big part of your channels.
Yes.
And I always crack up at these cold calls.
Yeah. Just to prime people, these are reenactments of real cold calls. So what you're hearing, the audio is real. I'm just playing both sides of the call. This happens all the time, all around the world. Sales reps making cold calls. This rep is different than most, but
and all of these start with, this is a real call sent to us by a sales savage.
So
Ross is playing both characters if you're on audio only, but just listen to this kind of unfold.
Hello?
Hey, James?
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going today?
Good.
Hey, I just wanted to, I want to make sure you're the person who heads up the marketing there, and I assume you're the CEO as well, right?
What's this regarding?
This is just regarding digital marketing. I just wanted to introduce myself and my company. My name
I want you to remove me from your list.
We actually don't have a list to remove you from. I actually just
Okay, well, I am on a government do not call list. Do not call.
And I don't want to call you from a government do not call list. I just want to tell you about our software.
Do not call!
I'm not going to call you ever again.
Hang the fuck up!
I would love to get a chance to tell you about our
Hang
software.
the fuck up!
Now, what we do is we have a software that I
Go to hell!
on your website.
Fuck you!
And we'll tell you the exact
Just go to fucking hell, you fucking losers!
every
You can't do anything but
that
fucking
visits
cold
your
call
website,
people who want to be left the
even when
fuck
they don't
alone!
expire.
Fuck off!
It's like caller ID for the internet.
Fuck you!
Now, the value to you
Just fuck off!
is that it's going to let you see
Go to
every
hell!
business
Go
visiting your
to
website.
hell! Fuck you!
Hey, is it a bad time?
Fuck you! Go the fuck to hell!
Come on, James. I'm
Just
trying to help
hang
your
the
business
fuck up!
I'm just trying to help
Hang
your
the
business make
fuck
money.
up! Go to hell!
I can't do that, James.
Go to hell!
I have
Hang the fuck up!
Oh my God. These are insane.
That's real.
And the way that salespeople are so hardened
Yes.
by if I heard someone raise their voice at me, I'm so sorry, James. James, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I will remove you from my list and never call you again.
James, I got an appointment at the top of a building that I'm going to jump off of.
Completely.
I'll catch you later.
We actually don't have a list, James, so I'm just going to keep kind of hitting
This
your
was
line.
kind of a legendary call because this guy is so common. He knows like he knows this ain't going to happen.
Is now a bad time?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
The value to you is
You've just been
it's like caller ID for the internet.
berated. Oh my God. And they keep going. One of my guy friends sent me similar. I should submit this honestly to this
Please.
reenactment. And he's like, hey man, how's it going? He's like, actually my dog just died. And he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. If by chance you have a minute to chat about
No, literally, that is it. That
it
is
was
it.
insane.
That's it.
Speaking of the death of your dog,
Yeah.
like I'd like to pivot into crazy.
It's so funny.
Oh my God, I could watch those videos all day. And you play such a good. Is that really hard to do?
Yeah.
To lip sync perfectly to the intonations of someone screaming.
It's so hard because, you're memorizing songs are great because it's melodic and like there's a rhythm.
Totally.
People upset, there's no rhythm.
There's just screaming.
There's no rhythm. So what we do is we take chunks and we'll take like 30-second chunks that I think I can hit. And it's playing out loud the whole time. And I'm like trying to match it over and over and over again, just loops and loops and loops until we feel like.
Is Talon filming these?
Yeah.
Because you do it with bravado. Nice.
Yeah.
Our producer.
Our producer for Demoted is filming these.
That's great. Wow.
So that's just
Thank
a
you
little
for
taste of what it's like. You wonder why
that's
salespeople are
sadness.
salty dogs.
Yeah, that's sadness for you.
That is friggin' sadness.
This video makes me think of like, what is a humane way to decline a cold call from a sales savage?
Somewhere in between that and nothing at all. No, so salespeople want one thing.
Well, unless you do that, they're going to call you back. This guy's actually probably still going to get a call back.
He's probably still going to get a call back. It's hard to get rid of salespeople, but the honest to God truth, like a good salesperson just wants one of two things, yes or no. Maybe check back later. We really like it. Now it's not the right time. All you're doing is opening yourself up.
Totally.
It's literally just like a very calm, like, hey, no, thank you. I'm good.
back to the
You could hang up on them then.
Totally.
If they keep pushing like that guy, like there's a lot of critique around that guy. Just keep going. Like he's definitely just doing it for himself. He's having a good time because this guy's popping off. Like,
Totally.
You just hang up.
salesperson we hired from Salesforce, Sarah, to work on our team for Expand VA, someone said like, oh, I actually use another virtual assistant company and I have 2 like fully loaded VAs like on my team.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so that's a closed door or whatever. She's like, no, that's an opportunity. We're going to meet with them and we're going to see if our VAs are better.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I would have never looked at it like that. Sure. And he's now a client. So
there you go.
There you go.
And she's, hey,
don't leave the door open with salespeople unless
Never
you
ever stop
really
selling.
want them to call you back.
Never ever stop selling.
Yes. Okay. Slight pivot here.
Yeah. We're talking summertime sadness.
I guess summertime. We touched on it briefly. It's quiet.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to wedding. I'm going to a lot of weddings.
Right.
We had our wedding episode. I'm traveling. It's summer.
This is why sales in the summer sucks, because everybody's traveling around. There's nobody's in the office. Nobody's working, but salespeople still have a quota, so they're stressing.
Annie and I get an out of office like every day from our brand partners, like for sure. I mean, everyone's just doing their own thing.
Yeah,
I'm
we're all
traveling
doing
too.
it.
Ahoy, matey.
Ahoy, matey.
You're out of office. So we're going to do how to make your work feel more like a vacation.
Yes.
Tip your direct reports and say thank you in a foreign language you don't speak.
Gracias.
Gracias, Ben. Thanks
Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you for getting that done for me.
Thank you. Yeah, and they're like looking at you like, okay.
That's like when you're in Mexico with your dad and he's like, gracias.
And you're just like, God damn it.
God damn it, Dad. Just say thank you.
God damn it, Dad. You're such a gringo.
God, you're such a gringo.
Replace your desk with a beach lounger and bonus points if you bring an umbrella.
Perfect. That makes sense.
You can still get your work done.
Yeah, totally. Wear a Hawaiian shirt on your calls and make your Zoom background a palm tree.
People love that. Where are you at right now?
Remember during COVID when that was funny?
Yeah, that was.
Oh, look at me. I'm on a beach.
It was kind of funny.
Aloha, my comrades. My God.
Did you ever see the filter that turned you into a potato?
Obsessed. There's like a viral account
potato.
that's a potato.
Oh, really?
And just sing songs.
There we go.
It's just a potato going, I've been a nasty girl, nasty.
Oh, that's definitely on Fem Talk somewhere.
That's on my side of TikTok.
Hasn't hit me yet.
The potato has a little bow.
Becca's over there like, yeah, I saw that video. You saw that video, yeah. Use a coconut instead of a mug. Just a little big straw, big bendy straw coming out of that. Just walking out holding your cup.
Oh, this is my coconut. This has coffee.
Yes, it's coffee, in case you're wondering.
Perfect. When you go out for happy hour drinks, bring a carry-on.
Yeah.
I'm heading out.
Of course.
Bring a carry-on.
I'm always OOO.
I'm always I'm out of pot. I'm on vacation. All right.
Wear sunglasses indoors and tell everyone you're protecting yourself from the harsh fluorescent rays.
Smart.
They do burn.
And you'll wear your speed shades, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah.
My Steve McQueen's.
Yeah. I mean, that's talk about cold calling.
Oh, I left him in the car. Damn it. I was like, should I bring him in? I was like, no, Natalie gives me shit when I bring him inside.
I don't let Matt wear his speed shades. I will never endorse speed shades. Sorry. Ray-Bans, if you're looking to sponsor us, we'll do the other one.
We'll do all the other ones.
We'll do all the other ones. Okay. Take your calls from a chaise lounge and definitely wear a bikini. That's what I like to see is Cheryl in a bikini.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, full frontal.
We didn't know Cheryl could get it like that.
We did like a would you rather on one of our first episodes.
Oh, yeah,
that was like,
wear a bikini.
Take a call from a hot tub where you're hunched over with just your toes in.
I don't remember what the alternative was, but it was definitely take that.
Definitely take that
over hunched over with your little hot tub. Put sand all over the floor beneath your desk and replace your lamp with a tiki torch.
Smart.
Vibes, my brother.
Smart.
Island vibes, my
I just
brother.
got back from Hawaii. We didn't even talk about what we were doing. I saw a nice little tiki torch ceremony.
So many tiki
outside
torches.
the one hotel. Lovely.
So many tiki torches.
Drink a Mai Tai every hour. Bonus, you might not remember your 4 p.m. meeting.
Yeah.
Right?
I could sign up for that. I love Mai Tais.
I love Mai Tais during the day.
Yeah.
Mai Tais on a sunset cruise.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. I had a lovely Mai Tai in Kauai.
I'm just craving OOO right now.
I'm craving.
I absolutely craving
We should head to you're headed to the one hotel.
I am.
We should head
here in
back
September.
There. So that's how to make your workday feel more like a vacation.
I have one more.
Definitely. Oh, sorry.
I have one more, if you don't mind.
Why don't you read it?
Change your email signature to say, sent from my hammock.
Just me laying in my hammock.
It's just like so try hard.
It's too much.
It's like, God, they're really embracing this whole OOO thing. It's like, I don't really care that much.
I saw this video on TikTok that was a Gen Z attached this to his out of office message. And it was a video of this guy. He was like a British guy. He's like, hey, I'm out of office. You definitely won't be hearing from me. and he's like,
That's it.
If like, oh yeah, it like goes through a couple of things. Like, if it's really urgent, I'll respond when I get back.
Okay. Thank you for the clip.
Thank you so much.
Multimedia. Oh.
Yeah, and then it fades out to a palm tree with like talk to you later.
Yeah.
So funny.
Great.
Okay,
I love
so that's how to make work feel more like a vacation. Definitely grab a sack of sand, throw it on your ground in the office. That's what we love.
Not so hot take. I actually hate sand.
I hate sand. I actually don't like swimming in the ocean.
Yeah. I go to Hawaii and I don't get in the ocean. Same. Is that freak shit?
Okay, wait. Promoted or demoted? Swimming in the ocean.
Demoted for me. Like,
I agree. I'm really scared. We went snorkeling and we were in this little bay and there was on the Hawaii news shark spotting in Honolulu Bay.
Yeah.
Hang on.
This is Honolulu Bay.
There was a 7-foot shark.
Oh.
I actually like the pool, the adult pool with a Mai Tai.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
It's not because I'm scared of the ocean. It's just the salt and the sand. And it's just like, it doesn't feel, I'd rather be in the pool.
So yours has nothing to do with fear. It's just the salt in the sand because you're a wuss.
There is fear if I go further out.
Yeah.
Like if I fall out of the boat in the middle of, if I fall off a tube or something in the middle of Tahoe and like the boat's coming back to get me, there's few things that scare me more.
I agree. Just being in open water alone.
Open water alone is terrifying.
Well, so we were snorkeling and they're like, actually go out to the drop-off area. And if you just go along the reef, there's a lot of turtles. I'm like, hang on. I'm going to look over the reef and see just darkness.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm going to stay shoreside.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Scuba diving,
I'm actually going
same
to do
thing.
the kayaking excursion.
Terrifying.
Thanks. So scary.
Terrifying.
I did scuba diving, went to a shipwreck, and I got this really eerie, like panic attack feeling.
Yes, I got that shit too.
And that's what they said. They're like, if you have a panic attack, like you have to equalize, you have to get up. You can't like sprint
you can't
up to the top.
or your shit will explode.
I am freaking out. So yeah, open water, ocean. Demoted.
The dive master was like, you went through a lot of oxygen. I was like, yeah, dog, I was hyperventilating the whole time. What do you want? What do you want? You said I can't come up fast.
I have permanent ear damage. I'm freaking out. Oh my God. So scary.
Promoted, demoted, summer Fridays.
Love it. I am a huge proponent of the 4-day work week.
Yeah. So like random days, summer, like so random Fridays off during the summer.
Well, and a lot of companies will say like
Or
our
half
office
day.
is actually closed around like 2 p.m. in summer.
God,
and it's
that's
just like,
chill.
you can, a lot of ad
I love my
agencies do
job.
it. Yeah, for sure.
I love my job.
And I think like, I'm honestly gonna say I do think a lot of people log off early on Fridays when you work from home. Like I'm not seeing people grinding to the late hours unless like
nobody's putting a 3-4 p.m. meeting on my calendar on Friday.
Oh no, I'd rather die.
I'd rather die.
No.
Yeah.
So summer Fridays promoted.
Promoted.
For me.
Definite promote.
Promoted or demoted commission caps.
Demoted.
Complete demote. You want me to work as hard as I can to
And then what? Okay, then I'll stop
Then
working.
I'll stop. I'm
If
gonna
I
take
hit
a
the
vacation.
cap, I'm done.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm out of here.
Oh my God, I hate that.
Don't like, especially early stage companies. They're all like, I do a lot of consulting with early stage companies about sales and commission structure and so forth. They're like, well, like, what if they like make a shitload of money? And I'm like,
Good. Then they'll stay at your company.
Then your company's closed revenue and now your shares and your valuation is skyrocketing and you're getting richer and you're mad that your salesperson
And you're
is
giving a
killing it.
small percentage. Also, what percentage of deals do sales reps get?
It's totally variant. Depends
Okay.
on how much they like an Oracle deal that's 15 million, they might get 0.00% of something.
Yep.
Whereas like, like a $10,000 deal, they might get 15%. So then there's like, it's
More
just
incentive. It depends.
It totally depends on
if you're in
what
like
you're selling.
mid-market
Totally
versus
depends.
whatever. Okay. Yeah.
Totally depends.
Interesting.
Promoted, demoted, Sunday scaries.
Oh, this is easy.
I love Sunday scaries.
I love Sunday scaries. I love being crippled with anxiety waking up on a Sunday.
Every time I drink a Celsius, I get Sunday scaries. It doesn't matter what day it is.
You know what brings Sunday scaries a lot is all this weekend travel and weddings and engagements and stuff because you're like, I was just on the dance floor till 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And now I have to work tomorrow.
Don't you feel such a fog coming back? Like the first couple
Oh
days,
my
you're
God.
just like,
I'm still drunk.
yeah, like it was so tight not working.
It was so tight.
That's
I
how
remember
life can be.
That was the glory days. Totally.
Glory days last week.
So
Incredible.
we'll say it together. Sunday scaries
Demoted.
promoted. Okay.
Okay, Natalie's thrown off the show.
Demoted.
You
Okay.
damn corporate bootlicker.
You damn boat liquor. All right. Promoted or demoted. God, Dallin must have hit a writing block here. Cat tongues.
Yeah, cat tongues. I think about cat tongues all the time. The way they have the tongues, like because they're animals and they have them.
I'm picturing Dallin, our producer, just high, just like seeing things.
Sitting crisscross applesauce in darkness.
He sees like an alley cat walk by on his windowsill and he's like, I wonder what that cat's tongue looks like.
Yeah, he's like,
Cat
the cat's like
tongues.
cleaning itself. He's like, oh, what a weird looking thing. Like
Cat tongues.
Our cat tongues, I don't know anything about cats. I'm a dog guy.
I'm a dog guy.
Full on confess.
No clue what a cat tongue is.
No idea.
I picture it really long.
Yeah, I almost picture like snake where it like splits at the end. It definitely doesn't do that.
It
but
definitely splits.
Imagine kind of a reptilian
A
tongue.
Siamese cat with a
The like 2 fingers.
Cat tongues I'm going to have to demote. I mean, like, oh my God.
I think they're like super rough, like sandpapery or something. I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
Demoted for me.
Demoted.
Not a cat guy.
No.
All right. Promoted, demoted, singing in the shower.
Oh my God, promoted.
You for sure sing so much in the shower.
I am a full-on Broadway star. You should see us in the car. Like, imagine me in the shower. I mean, it is just lights, camera, action. I once made a video that got 0 views. I thought it was the funniest video I've ever
This is a
made.
singing in the shower video.
That was when you realize you got it. And
Oh,
I'm just
God.
like,
What are you singing?
I'm just singing something. Like, I don't even remember the song. And then I just look up and it just slow zooms on my face. Like, I made it.
I'm in. Yeah. Broadway star. There's this like, my gate, like the entrance to my apartment has this like overhang, very churchy sort of reverb sound. So anytime I sing in there, it sounds so fucking good.
So you're just standing out there with your finger in your ear.
Becca's like, get inside the goddamn house. Because
It's
our neighbor's
raining,
door is
babe.
right there. It's right there. She's like, they can hear you. And I'm like,
You're like,
let
well,
them
I've
listen.
been a nasty girl. I've been a nasty
Yeah.
girl.
And I'm just vibing. I was doing the Halo theme song at one point,
course you were.
yeah.
Nerd.
Yeah.
Promoter, demoted. This will be the final one. The phrase Gee Willikers.
Gee Willikers, guys.
Gee Willikers.
What-
Golly gee.
What, like, again, Talon, stoned, watching cartoons. Like, we got some, like, Looney Tune shit from 1994. Gee Willikers, guys. And he's just like, Gee Willikers.
Cat
How about
tongues.
the phrase Gee
Gee
Willikers?
Willikers.
Like, what is this even from?
I actually love when someone says like an old boomer term,
But genuinely.
randomly.
Like, genuinely.
Yeah, genuinely.
Oh, yeah.
Like, golly gee.
Yeah.
You're like,
Gee
wait,
whiz.
why'd you say that, Annie? You're 25.
Yeah.
What? Like, who
Are you
just
one of
said
those
gee
weirdos who
whiz?
tries to not swear?
Totally.
Because it feels forced.
Totally.
It feels really forced.
That forking thing.
Yeah, someone said fudge the other day.
Fudge is
Fudge.
such a...
Fudge was like a thing back in the day. Oh, fudge.
Mom, I didn't say it. I said fudge.
Fudge is a
I'm
great word,
promoting
though.
fudge. Fudge is so great. Bring back fudge.
Bring back fudge.
Oh
Bring
my
back
God.
fudge.
Bring it back. Okay.
Okay,
That
let's-
was promoter, demoted.
That was promoted, demoted. Let's do a couple dear demoteds and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, let's do one.
Let's do one dear
I
demoted,
think we're
get the hell
probably
out.
at the very end. We're gonna rapidly give you back the gift of time.
Yeah, you're welcome. Dear Demoted, I was recently hired and was able to clinch the highest salary in their range posted for myself. I don't know what the hell that just meant.
Yeah.
2 months later, my org is hiring the same position to grow my team. I noticed the salary range is higher now, and I probably could have scored the top of this new range as I am still more qualified and was taking a title, quote, demotion with this job. It clearly wasn't a writing job, but it was probably more of a sales job. So let's just summarize real quick.
So salary, we're gonna give numbers. These are fake, but 100 to 120 was what was posted. He secured 120.
Yeah.
Then we see 120 to 140 posted for someone a peer, same level.
Same role, same level, growing the team.
And he's like, I could have gotten the 140.
Right.
And I'm saying he because just the way he's talking.
Yeah, for sure. Not a dude writing this.
And I fully could have secured that.
I could have secured that bag, dog.
And like, no hate, like you probably could have, and that's great.
Yeah.
I do think because you're so new to the role, I think showing, not telling would be a great starting point. So like, are you really closing all the deals? Are you really hitting all your numbers? And then can you renegotiate to get that higher salary range?
Yeah, and I don't put a lot of trust and stock in salary ranges online because I'm like, they're probably just trying to hire, get people in the door by putting a competitive, and that's not the actual like band.
Yeah.
And I think, it's worth the
And I
conversation.
think when they shift the salary ranges, it actually, you're probably going to get an offer at the low range.
Yes. And
And that's just like, because
always
you're not going to get a
negotiate,
huge
people.
jump. Always negotiate.
Always. Okay. And I know it's a way more gendered thing. Ladies, negotiate.
I agree.
Period.
And if you see the top thing offered, that's not the cap. They're just listing this number. This means nothing. So always ask for more, even if you get the high
Always.
range. And the worst they can say is no.
Literally, the worst thing they can say is no. They already want to hire you. Like they're not going to be so offended that they rescind the job,
No. If you don't ask,
especially if your tone is respectable and
the partner at my firm when I worked at Deloitte was like, stop asking. I was like, fine. And by the way, I think I do deserve a promotion.
hey,
I couldn't stop asking.
and that's good because squeaky wheel gets the grease, and
Totally.
that's how it goes. I think in this case, it's maybe worth a conversation with the manager and be like, yo, I saw this job. You guys just hired me for this. This is what the band is. Is that like that feels bad, period. What did your manager say? What did your manager say? What did your manager say?
Me feel hurt.
Me feel sad boy.
So you don't think you think just bring it up immediately, or do you think like show your stuff first a little bit? get skin in the game.
I'm assuming that performance is fine at this point. Like I do think it.
But it feels quick. It feels quick. Like I notice the salary range is higher now. 2 months later.
2 months. I think it's still worth the conversation because it does feel bad. It's like, we've created a world of not discussing salaries, which is obviously beneficial to companies who can lowball people and have people in different bands. There's no standardization, which again, people who are good negotiators, like salespeople would say, that's shitty negotiation on your part. I want to be able to earn more than someone, like to have the discrepancy. Asymmetry is good for some and bad for most. Like
definitely.
In this case,
unless
I still
you're at
think it's worth
Deloitte,
it.
you all know exactly what you're making.
Everybody's like on the
everybody's
exact
getting
same
the
band.
same band, except then the new hires get the band that you're getting. And so they do an inflation adjustment and you don't get that.
They say this and it is true. The best way to get a raise is to leave your company and get a new job.
Totally. Unless you're Annie.
Unless
in which
you're Annie.
case you can't leave.
You can't leave and we just throw money at you till you stay.
Cover your ears.
Yeah.
Okay. That was Dear Demo.
Alrighty, to close us out, let's read a review. We do this for ourselves because it feels good and it's great and it makes me fired up and makes me want to keep coming in here for multiple hours a week and recording podcast episodes that continue to just underwhelm.
Just do okay. So I'm going to read this. This is a 5-star review from Rand Entropy.
Rand Entropy.
Before I started my day working in SaaS, like seemingly everyone else, I listened to the show for a few laughs and a sense of solidarity that work and management is a complete joke. Mm-hmm. Thanks for keeping on, keeping on. Is that the phrase? As a remote worker, you two are my favorite coworkers.
Hell yeah.
Bethany's fabulous. That was a great review. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We just want to be everybody's work bestie. That's all we want to do.
We do.
We're trying to cultivate a culture of everybody. We're in it together.
We want you guys to say, like, I wish I could be in a beanbag with them chatting it up.
Yeah.
And if you're not thinking that, maybe this podcast isn't for you.
Yeah, and look, if you want permanent back problems, you want your L5, S1 to just be a little bit crooked, I recommend, we'll put these beanbags in the description.
Yeah, definitely. These are good for work. If you want to put a bunch of sand at your feet too, the whole thing's great.
Anyway,
enough
of that.
Please leave a review.
Yes.
Smash that subscribe button. We're trying out a new little, a
new
structure here.
Format. So thanks for sticking with us here because it wasn't the typical.
Yeah, we didn't start with the slow roll of, us just yapping about our lives. We're actually going to give you a kind of exciting opening now.
Kind of like a cliffhanger sort of situation.
Total
about what's going on.
Yeah.
And just to let you guys know, we're trying to optimize for new viewers. We need more Moter-heads. Like the Moter-head ranks, we have such a strong, dedicated, plateaued base of Moter-heads.
Yeah, totally. We're realizing the Venn diagram of corporate Natalie and Corp Bro to the Moter-heads in the middle. It feels smaller. We're trying to make it this.
Right.
It's tiny. We want it. A little more overlap. So please smash that subscribe button, rate 5 stars.
Yep.
And as always, tune in next week on
Demoted.